Here on the ground, change happens fast. Problems feel frequent and urgent. It's loud and anxiety runs high. From a satellite view, the Earth looks the same as it did thousands of years ago. We've been here before. Let's learn from our past and shoot for a better future.
Hello and welcome to this episode of A Satellite View. I'm Todd Mickelson, your host, speaking at you from Sunday, June 22nd, 2025, in the space and time continuum. And oh my God, I just recorded the whole show. I had just a couple minutes left in the second portion. And I looked and I did not have the microphone plugged in to the recording device. Oh my God. If you're watching this on video, this microphone you see, and if you're hearing this in your car or something, the microphone that is being used to electronically record the sound of my voice is also used to record the kick drum or the bass drum of my drum set in the basement. And I recorded drums yesterday. So I take this microphone away from here and I stick it in my bass drum. So then when I came to do this today, I went down and got it from the bass drum, put it on the table, got everything set up, all the lights turned on, the timer, I got a clock here that I follow, so otherwise this show would always be 3 hours long. I went through, did a break, came back, and it was one of the best shows I've ever done. So if you think this show isn't that good, just remember that I just finished recording one of the best shows I've ever done. It's just that the microphone did not record it because there was no wire going to the microphone. I did my clap test to make sure it's on, having a signal in the recording device. I didn't do that before I did it now, though, so I know you're hearing me. God damn it. Oh, damn. So yeah, in resetting up the microphone, I forgot to put the cord in the microphone. Here's hoping I can do half as good a job as I did already. I was feeling so good about it. And then I looked and I'm like, oh my God, the microphone's not plugged in. Okay, enough about that, right? See if I can even remember. So I was saying, here's my long list of things again. Things I write down throughout the week. And I start so many shows by saying, oh my God, so much happened this week, I don't know where to start. I realize now, I feel a big shift happened just starting last weekend. This week feels completely different, like the whole world is different to me. And there are a few reasons for that. But what I realize, especially now after he supposedly made the order to bomb Iran, because I don't know that he had anything to do with it. You know, he said, I'll tell you in 2 weeks, and then he left to go golfing. And then all of a sudden, oh, we bombed Iran. Okay, I thought Trump was golfing. Anyway, we did bomb Iran, apparently, but I just don't know that Donald Trump had much to do with it. But to my point here, I always have a long list, and I always think, okay, I got to get through this list because so many things are going on and so many things happened this week. What I realize is one thing happened this week. One thing is going on. Next week, there will be one thing happening. And it is putting out a list of things. I always used to call it the feces fire hose to distract us from the one thing that's going on. I want to remind us all in this show now. I want to see if we can all together stay focused on that fact. There is only one thing going on here, not a million things. Let's put a mask on in front of our faces so none of the feces keeps drowning us. That's pretty gross imagery. But we cannot be affected by the feces fire hose. what I want to do with all the things that go on like that, when there's things to laugh at, that's what I want to do. We'll laugh at it. We'll make fun of it. The fourth rocket exploded. SpaceX, Elon. How's that going, Elon? They say nobody was hurt or killed. I hope it's true. I'm assuming they didn't let anybody near the rocket when they were testing it to see if it was going to explode, apparently. A spectacular explosion. So, Elon it's not going well for Elon. And how do his investors feel about this? The fourth rocket this year, since February, the fourth rocket explosion. I can tell you exactly how the investors are feeling because I'm one of them. SpaceX survives on government contracts. You and me are paying for this debacle. What is he doing? It's never announced that this test is going to happen. Oh, I guess the third one was. It was like, oh, let's see what happens, and then it exploded. But this one, nobody knew he was doing anything. All of a sudden, there's a big explosion in Texas. Okay. Back to the main point, that there's only one thing going on. The bombing in Iran is basically Donald Trump making a deal with everybody. So when you make a deal with everybody, you're going to piss off some of those people because those people are against each other. Now, of course, he got caught up in the KGB back in the 1980s. I should repost my episode where I talk about the movie. What's his name? I can't remember. Kravlov or something. Donald Trump's KGB name. Yes, it's true. He's been working for Russia since the 1980s. Basically, he owes Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is allies with Iran. Iran is helping Vladimir Putin in the war with Iraq. Or not Iraq, Ukraine. And he doesn't want Donald Trump to bomb Iran. Donald Trump also went and made friends with Saudi Arabia. That pissed Putin off. He made friends with Qatar. Qatar gave him an airplane. He fell for it. Because he's an idiot and a narcissist. It's like, hey, we give you a plane. That's not a Middle Eastern. I don't know what a Qatarian accent would sound like. I don't know why I made it sound like he's Italian. But anyway, we like you so much, we're going to give you an airplane. They love me. They love me. They're great guys. Great guys. Making friends with those guys pissed off Vladimir Putin. But then the last guy that he made a deal with, just the guy who's most recently in his ear, is Netanyahu, the Trump of Israel. You need to help us in our new war with Iran. Donald Trump's like, okay, he's a great guy. He loves me. So they ended up doing that, and I'm sure that it's the ultimate distraction from the one thing that's going on. The main overall one thing is that Donald Trump is a fraud. Now, the way that actually makes him pay, because he's been a fraud his whole life and he's never had to pay for it. The way that he's going to end up paying for it, I feel very strongly that this is going to happen, has to do with what happened to me and I think also to a lot of you. On November 6th, 2024, we woke up early in the morning and we thought, Donald Trump did not win this. Something is weird. We felt the same way back in 2016 in November. Something is weird here. This could not have had just happened. There's no way he was winning. He was losing this election. All these people going on, all of these corporate media sources saying the Democrats, all the ways they screwed up in the election of 2024. No, they didn't, because they won. Kamala Harris ran an impeccably awesome, and I never use that word, impeccably. I also don't use that word. Neither of those two words are words I often use. Her campaign was impeccably awesome. She did an impeccably awesome job. She did nothing wrong. She talked about all the things. Why do Democrats never talk about what people want to hear? She said prices are too high. Inflation is too high. We're going to bring it down. We have already diverted a huge catastrophe that Donald Trump set up in 2020 after he mishandled COVID and killed 1.5 million Americans. We did this and this and this. Otherwise, our economy would already be in shambles. But here, we haven't done enough. She said all those things. She also, now people are playing video of her in October of 2024 saying, if Donald Trump becomes president, he's going to send troops into the streets to kidnap Americans. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she said. Wow. She didn't say, she totally screwed everything up. She was wrong. She didn't say any of the good things. No, she did it all right. She had, do you remember the rallies she had? The one she had in the out on the mall, 250,000 people about a week before the election. Donald Trump had to try and pay people to come to his rallies, and he couldn't keep them there, and they weren't full. They were like almost totally empty. His campaign was a disaster. Do you remember? They eat the dogs. They eat the cats. You remember all this? So don't listen to these idiots who are going, corporate media is not a part of this anymore. Okay? They're not a part of this. There's no need to listen or watch them. There's good sources. Midas Touch just reached 5 million subscribers 2 or 3 days ago. That's really incredible. That's an incredibly high number for an independent media group that is on YouTube. They get more viewership than Fox News, than CNN, than MSNBC, than any of the corporate outlets. Midas Touch has more views of their news videos they put out. Find them on YouTube. They actually report what's really going on. They will tell you the truth about J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio saying, oh, no, we're not at war with it. They went on the morning shows and are asked, are we at war with Iran? No, what? Why do you think we're at war with Iran? Well, you just said that you sent, these successful blah, 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 bombing Iran. Oh, that? No, that's nothing. Yeah, just like George Bush said. We'll do that in the second segment, like I already did when my microphone wasn't plugged in. We'll come back and talk about that BS and why that's happening. There are individual things to talk about, but there's one thing happening. Talking about the election and that Kamala won. I've been saying it for months. I began saying it here on the podcast still a couple months ago. It seems controversial. It seems like a conspiracy theory, but I said a couple weeks ago, it's only a theory until it's proven to be true. Then it's actually a real conspiracy that really did happen. Rockland, New York, Rockland County in New York. There is an investigation going on, similar to investigations that have already gone on in a lot of the swing states, especially Pennsylvania and Nevada. But this is in the courts. The Supreme Court of New York said, go ahead with discovery on this case. There's one district, actually there's more than one, but there's for sure one district that is already, kind of the reason they decided to go ahead with this is because it's already been proven, because it's on paper, that there's at least one county where Kirsten Gillibrand, running for the Senate, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, she's been there for a long time now, got reelected. She got 79% of the vote in a district where Kamala Harris got 0 votes. Okay? She didn't get like 5% of the vote and Kirsten Gillibrand got 79%. No, 0 votes because Elon went way too far with his algorithm. And that particular place, it showed. There are a lot of districts, especially in the swing states, that show that Elon Musk went way too far with an algorithm that messed with the tabulation computers in the election. Trump admitted it, 5 times now? Elon Musk had said it. Without me, he would not have won this election. Corporate media said, oh, that's because he wouldn't have had enough money. Money doesn't buy elections. Elon Musk tried to do the same money in Wisconsin. 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, he tried to do the same thing he did for Trump. And his person he was running against overwhelmingly won. Money does not buy elections anymore. People are too engaged. So Donald Trump and his regime knows that we're getting closer and closer. I've been talking about the tabulation machine, actually the actual Elon Musk messing with the tabulation machines for a long time now, if you've been listening to this podcast, but now other people are talking about it, and a lot of it is because of this Rockland County, New York thing. It's the first thing that's being paid attention to. Corporate media is not going to touch it until it's absolutely undeniable, which it is, but they needed to go a little further. They don't want to take responsibility for reporting the actual news if it's going to piss some people off or it's going to make some people go, what? Are you sure? The one thing that's going on this week is the feces fire hose, the long list of things that are to distract us from the fact that more and more people are hearing and realizing and ready to accept that Donald Trump stole this election. Part of the plan was to say that 2020 was stolen so that we would be afraid to mention that this one was stolen, which in fact was true. We're going to take a break. I don't think this segment was as good as the first segment that I recorded when the microphone wasn't plugged in. So if you thought this was a good segment, just think to yourself, wow, I wonder how great his segment that he didn't have the microphone plugged in, that must have been amazing because this one was so good. Anyway. Oh, yeah. I really am bummed out about it. I do think that the first segment of the unrecorded version went better. All right. But let's take a break and see if I can do better on the second segment. So let's take a break. You're listening to A Satellite View. We'll be right back. We're back on A Satellite View. If you like the music you hear here, go to toddmickelson.com. Push the music button. You can find this and a lot of other music I've written throughout the years. Still doing it. That's why I had the microphone in the kick drum and then brought it up here and forgot to plug it in, by the way. Also, go to satelliteviewpodcast.com. That's our website. And you can sign up to be on our emailer list, where we'll let you know what the hell's going on over here. Again, that's satelliteviewpodcast.com. Thank you so much for being with us if you're listening and or watching, because we've also been starting to release this. We've been doing it for a while now on YouTube in its entirety. Takes a couple more days for me to, do it. But anyway. So where were we? There's one thing going on. Now, the reason it's taking so long, there was somebody said something, stretching belief without tearing it. Now, some of us know, but many don't, about a lot of the things that I talk about here. You know about it because you listen here. This whole thing about the election. If you listen to this every week, you've known for about a month about Rockland County, New York. Most people have not heard about it yet because corporate media is afraid to talk about it. Some of us do already know. I'm not going to have a problem when it comes out. Some of us feel like, why has it not yet come out? But there are many, many people who will be like, what? They need some time. So things are being rolled out slowly. Part of it is the demise that Donald Trump is performing on, of course, not by himself. Don't want to give him too much credit. But we all know, all the world's a stage. We are but merely players, something like that. Donald Trump auditioned for and aced the audition to be the idiotic, narcissistic, fake billionaire, diabolical, world most hateable, punchable villain. He's so good at that role. That's the role he has chosen. Sometimes I feel like I want to thank him for playing that role. If I think about it as a stage and it's a play, that guy's got to be there. I don't want to be that guy. So, we need to start thinking of things like this in that manner. That's what I think. I hate people who say, we need to do this. And I just did that. I apologize. I am trying to think of things in that manner, and it is extremely helpful for me. Last weekend, okay, here's what happened. As you know, the microphone I didn't plug in. I did a whole show without the microphone plugged in. Came back, did the whole show again. Feeling really good about the second take, although it wasn't as good as the first take. Almost finishing editing it, and the battery of the little preamp that I use in my recording device apparently went dead. Never happened before. It has a warning light. The warning light was not on. The sound, as I was editing the show, the sound just was like, it's late at night. I was trying to finish editing the show. Considering just like, okay, something is telling me not to do the show, but no, actually the message is, yes, you have to do the show. I just want to make the point that the main point of the show is that we need to hold the line. And I can't remember what I said and didn't say. I've done it twice already, and then on the third time, I don't want to repeat myself. Trying to remember what might have been cut out, but I'm thinking it doesn't matter. Because the main message that I'm trying to say here is, we stand up to the bullies, they back down. The rallies, not protests, the No Kings rallies, not protests, they were rallies. 12.5 million people, 3.5% of the population of the United States. That's more than enough to make things happen. And I think that's what they're scared of. And that's what I think we're onto something here. You and I. And thank you so much for listening and or watching. So I'm going to cut it short. I'm not going to try and remember the points I made and didn't make. There were some funny moments. I'm not going to even try and remember. I'm just going to make sure that this gets done and gets out. I'm not going to take a week off because of these, really anomalous electronic, whatever it is, these obstacles to me putting out the show this week. We're on to something here, and it's because we are holding the line. Keep doing what you're doing. I thank you all for going to the rallies last weekend. Like I said, my friend Doug and his wife Betsy, they went to their rally in their small town that they always felt was a red zone. They were expecting only 15 people to be there. There were 3,000 or more people. And he sent me selfie videos, and it was like, yeah, that looks like 3,000 people. And he was brought to tears because of the beautiful, positive feeling of community and that we're all here. I might be repeating myself because I can't remember what I did before the battery burned out. But my main point is we're all in this together. You and I are going to keep each other sane, and we're going to keep up this fight because it is a fight. We don't need to think of it as like a violent fight or a war-like fight. It's just us all sticking together. We're a community, and we are overwhelming these dark fingers that are holding on to the world. The darkness has fallen away, but there's just a few fingers left, and we're going to stomp on those fingers until they keep pulling away and they leave the earth. And that's what we're doing, and we're doing it successfully. So we need to keep doing that. We need to hold the line. That's what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you have the same inner feelings I do about all of this. Again, there's one thing happening this week. There's one thing going to happen next week. There's only one thing happening. And they are scared. They're in fear. It's their turn to live in fear. We don't need to. Don't give in to the fear. Don't be fearful. Don't feel any more fear. We are the vast majority, and we have the power of the people. There's a reason that's a phrase. We're the people. We're the mass majority of the people. All right? I'm a little bummed that a lot of the points I made in when the battery went dead on the sound, I'm probably not reiterating here, but what are you gonna fucking do, right? It is what it is, right? I wanted to finish it, and so this is what I'm doing. My makeup and hair person is gone. No, I don't have a makeup and hair person, but I have a different shirt on because it's hot here in Minnesota right now. It's really hot. It's like in the mid-90s and very humid. So this is my kind of summery thin shirt. In the first part of the video, I had my cool suave. Anyway, I've had a little wine because it's late at night now, and I'm trying to finish this. So you and I are in this together. We're going to stick together. And we're doing this together. We're holding the line. They're trying to distract us from the power of last weekend's No Kings rallies. We're going to do that again, by the way. I thank you for doing that. I thank you for listening to this podcast. I just want us all to stick together, keep each other together, keep each other sane, and we are holding the line. Thank you so much for listening. I'll speak at you next week.
You've been listening to A Satellite View with Todd Mickelson. Go to toddmickelson.com for links and more information.